Hello, everybody. I'm back. It's me, Gabriel, also known as Bear. And today we're going to talk about the same thing we typically talk about. We talk about liberation. We talk about awakening the sleeping giant, what that means, what that is, and how we're going to cultivate it. How we're going to awaken our people to the truth that they are Native people, that they are indigenous people. And I think that that is powerful. I think that is how we heal as a community. I think that's how we become a lot more truthful and honest with ourselves. If we can learn to embrace and accept who we are, accept the historical context of things, and not be in denial and dismissal and under these systems of self-contamination, these systems of self-abuse, these systems of self-hatred that have been imposed on our people. And I know we can grow out of it. I know and I believe that this message to me is everything. This is how we wake up. This is how we show the world who we are. This is how we show ourselves who we are. This is how we regain dignidad as a community. So I make this post, I make this live stream as a call to action to reclaim your dignity, to embrace your roots, to acknowledge you are an indigenous person. For the so-called Mexicans, the so-called Chicanos, for the majority of Latin America, we still are Native people. It's whether you choose to reclaim it or not. It is whether you choose to reclaim it or not. We're still here. We have to go down to the root, down to the bone of what is going on. Who taught us to believe that we are Latino? Who taught us to believe that we are Hispanic? Who taught us to believe that we are everything under the sun but Native, but indigenous? Who taught us this? Who taught us this? What system taught us this? And how do we embrace truly who we are as a race of people, as Indian people, as Native people? It's my dream that one day we will see, Mexican children, brown children, fully aware of what they are, fully aware that they are Native people, that they are indigenous people, that our people will awaken to the truth, and we will cultivate again. That's all I want. This isn't about hurting people. This isn't about hating white people. This isn't about hating any other group of people. This is simply about reclaiming and embracing and taking away this ideology that Native is bad and dismissing it. The largest pyramid in the world, is found in Cholula, Mexico. The largest pyramid in the world. It's not found in Egypt. It is found in Cholula, Mexico. It is found in the Americas. It is found in our lands, made by our ancestors, made by our people. And this is, we have been demonized, we have been, misled and mistaught that we were these mindless savages in the jungles, in the woods, in the forests of the Americas, but the reality of the situation is we are far from that. There's no need to be ashamed of your brown skin. There's no need to be ashamed of your features that mimic the geography of this land. Whether if you are from Greenland to the tip of Argentina and Chile, you are a Native person, you are an indigenous person. And I think it's in my belief that we reclaim who we are. The immigrants You know, we've been taught that we are Latino, we've been taught that we are Hispanic, we've been taught that we are immigrants, we have been taught that we are illegal, we have been taught that we are not who we are. We've been taught everything under the sun but what we are. We are Native. We are indigenous. We are Native people. We are Native Americans. We are Indigenous Americans. We're First Nation people. The average Mexican you will see is a Native person, is an Indigenous person. You know, we are exploited. You know, the continuation of the boarding schools that happened to our Northern Native relatives in the United States and Canada has continued. The sterilization has continued for Native American peoples of Mexico, Central America, South America, who have tried to migrate over here to the United States. They have been sterilized. They have been raped. They have been murdered. They have been sent to sex trafficking. They've been under sex trafficking, the children, the women, the men even. And this is a continuation of the injustice of indigenous people of this land. This is the continuation of that. And I think if we embrace who we are and we understand that we have a lot to gain from reclaiming who we are, our dignity, our self-respect, then we're going to really change and benefit ourselves as a society. I really do believe that. So I'm on this live to join you guys and speak on this truth. Cultivate it. A lot of people like to say, stop living in the past. Stop living in the past. It's over now. But for as long as those kids are in cages, for as long as they're getting sexually abused, for as long as they are, being separated from their mothers, as long as they're going missing, the Native wars have not ended. The war on indigenous people has not ended. For as long as there are indigenous tribes in the Amazon jungle, the rainforest, getting murdered by loggers and people and the workers of corporations and getting massacred, the Indian wars are not over. The Native wars are not over. For as long as you have indigenous children not being able to identify who they are and calling themselves and identifying with the colonizer and not identifying with their indigenous roots, the Native war is not over. The indigenous war is still here. We have a fight here. We have a fight. It's a fight not necessarily strictly in violence, but it's a fight for our own minds and dignity as a race, as a people. So I say to you, viva la sangre indígena. Long live the indigenous blood that courses through our veins. Viva la raza indígena. Long live the indigenous race. Because that is what we are. We are Native people. We are Native people. If you're a Mexican, the probability and likelihood of you being Native is extraordinarily high. It's almost a certainty. It's almost a certainty. They call us a people of color. We are a people of color, I agree, but I think I know you. I think I get what you're trying to say. I do think that they kind of lump us in all as one. And they don't like to, our individual issues are kind of minimized because we're so homogenized. If you're a Native, what nation are you from, my brother? My people are of the Yoreme nation of Sinaloa, the Guasabepa band of Yoreme, from Guasave, Sinaloa. And then on my mother's side, I descend from Chichimecas, Guachachil, Guamare. Those are my roots, and I'm proud of it. It's time we shock the world. It's time we show our faces. It's time that we no longer sit and speculate about our native identity. And we understand the history so we can know the truth that we are Native people. Because if you don't embrace who you are, others will. Others will take up and try to say that they are Native when they aren't, but we are. This movement is not about causing tension between other Native groups. This isn't about causing tension between Northern and Southern Natives. This is about unifying all Native people. Not homogenizing and saying we are all the same, but we have the same struggle and we are relatives. And with that fact, we should stand together. And with that fact, we can aim for a better future for us. Do you think Mexican people should be given reservations too in the South like other natives got? I don't believe in the reservation system, for me. Who gave you permission to talk about us? About who? You gotta be specific. I never claimed to be from a reservation. I'm not a reservation native. Never claimed to be. I'm a Southern native, as many would call. I'm indigenous to Northern Mexico. And I will never claim to be from the United States because that's not where my ancestry is from. But I talk about our similarities and struggles because I am a Native person. I don't speak for any specific nation. I speak from my own individual perspective as a Native person. And if that's an issue for you, and you're intimidated by that, or you feel that I'm not one to speak, then go speak on your own. I'm not here trying to debate you. I'm not here trying to tell you that I'm the messiah or the end all be all of Native American activism or speaking, but I will say that I have my own perspective and I'm sharing it with the world. If you don't like it, you can tune out. I quite frankly don't even know who you are and I don't really care if you're going to be rude or disrespectful. All right, so you all have the same struggle and that is a relative to your struggle. We have a similar struggle. And I think that how there's a European Union for people of Europe, how they have African unions, how they have Asian unions, there needs to be a union for Native American people, indigenous Americans. I believe that we can work together. I believe that that's the case. How do we Yeah, I just knew that guy was looking for a fight. He's already made up his mind about how he thinks of me or how I shouldn't be speaking and that's okay. But it's not going to stop me from speaking out of what I feel is the truth. I believe we have to have an intertribal union. I believe that Mexicans should embrace their indigenous identity as well as other Latinos, and they should be able to, with respect and time and patience, be able to retribalize amongst themselves. I think it's important that we reclaim who we are and we embrace our race as Native people. I don't like seeing my people be in denial and dismissal or ignorance to who they are and their rich cultural history, their rich, you know, the things that our people have accomplished are amazing. But we've been colonized and been on the blood of colonization for so long that we've truly believed that many of us have truly believed that there's no point. We should just give up. And I disagree. This isn't about war. This isn't about violence. This isn't about hurting anyone. This is about loving yourself. This is about loving who we are as a people and not denying it anymore. It isn't. It isn't. I appreciate you guys' words of support. I know that what I'm doing is not enough. I need to figure out a way to grow this in a higher capacity. I think it starts with just being more consistent. I think you know, we have to continue to grow this thing. I completely agree, Ricochet. The system has grown our people, controlled our people to believing that they are worthless, that Native people are worthless, that we are worthless people, that our contributions are worthless, that if you look, behave, act amongst the ways of our ancestors, your ancestors, you are worthless because you're not white, because you're not part of the colonial order of things. And many of our families, unfortunately, have fallen into this psychological abuse, this psychological warfare that has been forced on us. And I say no more. I say no more. I say no more for this, for our people. No more. I think we have to be proud of what we are. I think we are a beautiful people. We are not worthless. We have dignity and we have amazing contributions to this world. They like to reap the benefits of indigenous people, but they don't like to give the acknowledgments. And I'm tired of us being the last ones to speak at our own fucking table, the table of the Americas. I respect all groups, but we should be the front and center voice when it comes to talking about this land. Our voices should be front and center and heard with respect. Everyone likes to act all open-minded these days and show respect, but I just see people who are beneficiaries off of our land, people who are beneficiaries off of our resources, and have benefited from the colonial regime, even if you are a person of color. But if you are not native to these lands, you, to some degree, you do have a beneficiary status. That doesn't mean that I'm against you. That doesn't mean I hate you. But that means that you have to acknowledge these things. These things must be acknowledged, because if they're not, then you're continuing to benefit and grow this parasite of colonization, of the colonial state. And I think it's time that we face what this is. And I think it's, again, this isn't about hurting people. That's not our way. If it comes down to it, if we have to have self-defense, we will. But I'm saying that this is about justice. This is about equality for Native people. I do not think that we've had proper justice. We're not under that justice. When we have Native children hating who they are and hating the color of their skin and the way they look, that's not justice. When you have Native children put into cages, separated from their families, getting raped and sold into sex trafficking by our own governmental systems, that is not justice. We deserve justice and we deserve equality. And if I have to put my life on the line for it, then so fucking be it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. This is a human issue. But if we make it a human, if we get too broad, then it can be hard to target the specific issues that specific communities are facing. This isn't about me saying Native people have it the worst in the entire world, but this is more about Native people have it bad specifically for these reasons, and we need to help address these issues. Because if we don't address these issues, they're going to perpetuate like they have been. It's bad right now. The state for an indigenous person, it's like a horror movie. It's like a horror movie. It's like a horror movie. An alien invasion. We deserve justice. We deserve healing. 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 Healing requires effort. Healing requires doing the things that will heal your mind and spirit. Embracing who you are and accepting what you are. But if you have a whole societal, social system of self-hatred, of being, I am Latino, I am Hispanic, no soy Indio, Indio feo, Indio is beneath, Indio is below, I do not, that's like denying my brown skin, my indigenous features, who I am. And you will never be true to yourself. You're never going to be healed if that's how you think of yourself. We are not less. We are the originals of this land. And I believe that's powerful. I believe that's powerful. I believe that's beautiful. I don't think there's any shame in that. I think that we're beautiful people. I think we're a gorgeous people. And I think that we have to have people like yourselves who are part of this conversation, 16 of you right now, who are willing to put it down. Even if it's just us versus the world, who are willing to talk about this. You're not less, Abraham, because you're Native. You're not less, Chrissy, because you're Native. You're not less, David, because you're Native. Lucy, you're not less because you're indigenous. I know y'all know that already, but just a friendly reminder that you always have a Native brother within me, and I'm here and I'm gonna fight for us. In this regard, I'm gonna fight for it as hard as I can. But we have to work together too. We have to work together. We have to figure this out together. It can't just be one person and then that's it. We do have to figure it out. I'm over here in San Francisco right now. I'm over here in the Bay Area. And I have a burning passion to figure this out, to put this on a higher level, to break barriers and make sure that the people have awoken, to make sure that the sleeping giant has woken up, to make sure that more of our children, more of our mothers, more of our brothers, our fathers, our abuelos, our abuelas, wake up to the truth. And they say, you know what? I am an indigenous person. You know what? I am Native. I'm Native and I'm proud. We are a Native people. We are a Native people. I am a Native person. We're the continuance of our ancestors, and there's no shame in that anymore. and we will hold it down. We will learn more of our culture. We will embrace our history and our languages, and there will be new communities. There will be new communities. There will be new. There would be new. There would just be a lot of new things, new communities, new programs. The average Mexican will know and have a space to reclaim their indigeneity in all schools, in all public schools. That's my dream. That's one of my visions. They will have an opportunity to learn of themselves. In colleges, the classes of Chicano and American Indian Studies will have, there will be classes where there will be one and the same. There will be programs that will help people who have been detribalized, which is a good majority of us, into finding out their tribal lineage and learning of who they are. These are my dreams. The ICE detention centers will be abolished and destroyed. They'll be burned down to the ground. And we will be respected. We will be respected as Native people. And our brothers on the reservation, our sisters on the reservations will understand on a deeper level our relation. Understand that we are true cousins. I know many do, but many do not as well. Because, the colonization runs rampant. We see ourselves as Latino and Hispanic and foreigners on native lands, right? If we think that, other people think that too. Because that's what we believe. We've been taught that we are not native. We've been taught that we are not indigenous. We have been taught that these things are what is, and what is that. Ricardo Ignacio podcast. I'm gonna look that up. Oh, I've heard of him. I have heard of that guy. Anyway, guys, I just want to make this short and sweet. If you guys want to reach out to me, if you guys want to show further support of my content and what I've been talking about regarding this issue, please follow me on Instagram, _Gabriel Huso _ Gabriel Huso _. Thank you guys. Be safe. Take it easy. Breathe. Relax. Que paso, relative? What do you think of our older family members who have cheated on their partners? I know so many of my friends that either their parents have or grandparents have. It's a common issue. I think that's where you could utilize some genetic testing. It may help. Yeah, I did notice that Foo's Gone Wild shared one of my posts. They kind of tried to make me look like a joke, but that's kind of a joke page, so I wasn't tripping over it that much, but they did kind of like try to make they kind of made a joke about the message, but it's okay. I get it. Sometimes you gotta be a little lighthearted, but I did see it. Anyway, guys, I'm headed out. It was a pleasure talking with all y'all. Be safe, take care, follow me on Instagram. Peace.